YouTube and welcome to my channel. This episode basically is about marriages. It's things that I've learned in my marriage that has helped me through, that I had to learn. I'm not a 2-year marriage. I'm not a 6-month marriage. People, I have been with my husband for 18 plus years. Now, to even hear double digits, and I am only 34, I'm gonna be 35, it's kind of crazy to me. Because normally my age group, most I've heard is like 7, 8, been together 10. Sometimes I ask myself, was it better to get married young? Because we had to grow together. And honestly, people, I had to fight. We had to fight for what we have. Like, it's so beautiful and people look at it, but they don't know how hard we both had to work to hold it together. Like, that's what a union is. Two imperfect people that just want it so bad that they put in the work. And sometimes he didn't want to put in the work, and I had to put in the work. And sometimes my petty, stubborn self didn't want to put in the work, and he had to put in the work. But the reason I believe that we're successful is not even by our own, but it's by the grace of God. I pray to God, and I have to give him the glory because I have seen where he has held me down. So, number one, it's a marriage between a man and a woman and God. When I tell you, there's sometimes that there was an arguments and there's situations that you're like, what the heck is happening? And I had to go on my knees, people, and I had to pray, or he had to go on his knees, and we had to pray together. Like, you lose your job, and then right after you lose the job, then this came out of the woodwork, and then the roof leaking, and you're like, oh my God, what next? That's how a marriage is too. Sometimes you're just getting hit. You're getting tested so much that your spiritual body can't handle it. And all I could do, people, all I could do was say, God, I leave it to you. And when I gave it to God and I let it go, baby, it's such a way how he turns it. The way he turns it into perfection, it's something out of this world. Just in my other video, I was talking about puswa, lotus flower. You know, like, I'm not saying you have to be a perfect power, but I give praises to what I've seen in my life. So that was my number one. Without God, me, him, and God literally holding us together, baby, the grace of God, I am nothing. That was number one thing I learned for a fact. Number two thing that I've learned, shut your mouth. Just because everyone is friendly doesn't mean that they're your friends. I was so friendly when I was growing up. My mom used to tell me literally, when I was a little girl, I'd be like, hi, my name is Trent, nice to meet you, wanna be a friend? And I had to learn, shut the hell up. Let me explain. I used to want to vent because when you're growing, you don't grow necessarily on the same path. Sometimes he's going to be ahead of you. Sometimes you're going to be ahead of him because we're all growing, right? You want to vent, right? That's what you feel like is your natural release. Like someone to understand or someone to tell you if you're wrong. So you want to vent. And I'm not saying these people are bad people, but what I've gotten to understand, even with me, the first thing that's going to come to my mind, because I am a human being, is, yeah, but remember they took the Rick Cracker, you remember? It's like, you and them could have the worst rap, and then they just say, man, I'm sorry, and you're like, or, you know, even vice versa. Like, I could be like, baby, and it's like,
oh, what do you want to watch?
And we just move on. But people, when you vent sometimes, they can't move on. Or that person, you and your spouse can grow. Y'all using your keywords, like if you have a tone problem. So you're like, whenever your tone is high, we're gonna say cucumber pineapples. Cucumber pineapples! And you guys do whatever you guys have to do to lower that tone or to fix that problem. The person you vented to won't see that growth. The person you vented to gonna remember DMX voice. You and your spouse has grown. Now you have Usher voice. I just wanna take it nice. You know, I have a cousin, like she checks me because she's been in a relationship from when we were kids. So I'm like, oh, this and this and this. Oh, and she'd be like, oh, did you remember in 2013? Huh? You don't remember? And then I'm like, oh yeah. And I love that because she's been there from the beginning. She's seen the good, she's seen the bad. So it's not like it's just all bad and I'm creating this monster or whatever out of nothing. Nothing is perfect. So why would I expect my marriage, two different individuals, everything to be blissed, perfection? I believe that even your sex life, everything goes up and down. It's like hills, but once y'all want it together, I think it's the most beautiful thing ever. Once it's like a raft, and once y'all holding on like in the Titanic, that's not a good example, but didn't he die and she could have put him on the board with him? The other thing I've learned in my marriage is to consider him first. Nobody told you to get married. You chose to get married. But I feel like 2020, most people just think about the wedding and not the marriage. Marriage can be a golden cage, baby. And I've learned to consider my man first. I used to do hair on the side. People would be like, oh, but I get off of work at 10 p.m. I'm like, no, it's okay, come, because tomorrow's my day off. While my man here looking a hot mess. We should go out to this place. We should go on this cruise, right? Day cruise or whatever. But yet, I've been too busy working that I didn't go on anything with my husband. But yet I'm picking up myself to go on a girl's cruise. Not saying that I did it, but I'm just saying. And even little things, you'd be surprised. I'm dressing up for you too. But then when the camera's off, I'm in a mood. No, he comes first. I do not do anyone's hair if my husband's hair is not done. I'm like, I'm so sorry. He's gonna do his hair Tuesday, so I can see you on Wednesday. And that's how I did it. And he was happy because it showed that I considered him first. And at the end of the days, when all the lights are off, that's my partner. That's my best friend in the whole. When I tell you that man is my best friend and he has proven it over and over, that's my best friend in the whole wide world. Okay? When I tell you to consider your spouse first, like, no, I couldn't do your hair. Yeah, girls trip, I'm sorry, I didn't go anywhere with my husband unless he was like, no, babe, go, because remember we planned that thing. Just showing him that I considered him. And it has changed my marriage. And I know you're probably thinking it's common sense. You'd be surprised when you don't think about it. We all know how to be better, but do we really do it? You understand? So everyone can say what I'm saying is probably basic, but applying what I'm saying is the gift that I'm giving you. Think about the situation. By putting him first, did I spend time with him? Did I? But yet I'm over here having a whole chips and dip and salsa night with the girls. Like for me, if my husband is home, me and him by ourselves, me and him with the family, and then I don't mind going out on Saturday because guess what? My bucket is filled. My kids went to the park. My kids, we baked together. My husband, he's filled. Then yeah, say what now? What? We're going to brunch? Okay, I can go to brunch. My household is filled. Other thing that I've learned is there's things that we used to think that was powerful, or maybe I did. When we're arguing, give me that divorce. Give me that, I'm done. Do not speak out your mouth the things that you do not want. I have a lot of friends that have divorces, and it was because of pettiness. They were saying things that they didn't mean. Why? This is your life partner. Oh, to hurt that person? To hurt the ego, and they're hurting your ego, and it's just a back and forth? What purpose is that? Where's the growth from that? The Bible tells you to have agape love, okay? You pour in all the love and then see the love unfold. This is the person you chose as your husband. I'm not talking about no boyfriend. I'm not talking about, because you have to choose your boyfriends wisely. Not all of them are husbands. I'm talking about your husband. You chose him as your ever after. Till death do you part. Sickness and in health. And when I tell you these things that you really see at the altar really comes, because life is not easy. When it's saying sickness and in health, for richer or for poorer, life is not an Instagram picture. Because I can do a whole bunch of Instagram pictures that looks just perfect. But behind closed doors, baby, in everybody's life is not an Instagram picture. All I'm saying is that I had to learn that if I'm saying, I want a divorce, that's not what I really want. I just wanted to feel stronger or something. I wanted him to feel something. And it didn't help me, because suppose he turns to me and say, you know what, let's do it. And I go, okay, I can't go back on that, because I was talking big and bad. The other thing I've learned is to be somewhat evenly yoked. And I never understood it really, but it really, really does matter. It's not that you won't work, it just makes a marriage a lot more difficult. For example, if your religion is different, when you have children, you're going to want the best for them. And because you want the best for them, whatever you think is the best for you, which is your religion, your belief, you're going to want to instill it into that child. Now, when your other half has a different belief of how he wants his kids to be raised, suppose he believes in Satan himself. You know, I'm extremist sometimes. That's going to cause a conflict. Not saying that it will cause divorce. I'm not saying that. But anybody, if you're really being honest, you can either comment or not. That is a big, big thing. It really is. It causes a big void in your relationship, and it causes a lot of arguments. Another example of not being evenly yoked. Suppose you want to live on a yacht and travel the world, and it was good when y'all was boyfriend and girlfriend. He was all down for the traveling, but eventually he wanted to settle down and have a home, and you guys didn't speak about that. You didn't speak about what are your goals 10 years, 5 years from now. This could be a problem that is so simple, and it could have been solved if you guys just had that conversation of what you really wanted. Because sometimes we go on love, but then we completely forget what we really need to talk about. That evenly yoked, you know? Some things that you're discussing, you can compromise in some way, but the conversations are there. It's so crazy how my husband and I are. Every car we want, it's like, yeah, he can pick out anything for me. And it's like, yeah, because we spoke so much about what we wanted our future and how we envisioned our life, that down to our decorating, anything that I can think of, you know, me wearing makeup. I have a lot of people that they spouse don't like it, or even weave. I know it's stupid conversations, but these are conversations to be had, because then later on down the line, those little things can cause conflict in a marriage. There are conversations that need to be had. Communicating, but not just communicating to understand, and the willingness to work on. I had to learn that, because we could communicate all day, but if I'm not willing to process what he's saying a problem is, and literally work on it, because that's my teammate, then what's the point of communicating when we're not really processing what that person is saying and working towards being better? And if I felt that it wasn't something I wanted to work, communicate to let him understand, so we can both compromise or meet somewhere that both of us are happy, that we don't feel disrespected. And that's where I go to my next one. Respect. Respect goes a long way. Like, when we think of respect, like how you respect your boss, right? Would you, because he's cutting your check, because he's paying you, even though sometimes you're upset, you're not gonna come out your mouth reckless because he's cutting you that check, right? You're not gonna say certain things that you're thinking in your head just loosely because he's cutting you that check and you don't want to lose your job. Why is your marriage different? Because we both really mouthy. He mouthy to me, but we both like. I had to learn that, respecting my husband, giving him the respect that he needs. You know, giving him the respect that he didn't even know he needs. It's so important, people. And then there's little things. I'll end with the little things, you know? Like thoughtfulness. You go to the store, you're picking up vitamins for you. What does your spouse need? You want a massage, you want the candlelights, but did you ever think that he needs a massage from a hard day? Believing in their dreams. Not even in their dreams, but them believing in our dreams too. That's how you get to know somebody. Speak to them. Their tone, their demeanor, their facial contact, their energy is felt. Speak to that person. Okay? All my millennials. So take accountability. If you're wrong, be grown about it. Own it. I was wrong. And because you owned it, that in itself shows growth. That shows that you're willing to look into yourself and be like, oh, I fucked up. Sorry. I messed up. But you're willing to be better because you own it. You're not stuck in your mentality of not wanting to be better. We're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But it's the ability to show that you want to be better with every day. You know? That's the difference. And another thing is too, well, I love me some romantic movies, boy. And that used to mess me up because you could compare, not necessarily compare, but you would think that love is just supposed to be like these romantic movies all the time. And keep in mind, I got married very young. That's not the case. But it's beautiful, real truth. Ain't nothing more beautiful than it. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. If I ever tell you how amazing my husband is, and for the pettiest things, it's not the trips or the gifts or expense or going out that makes my husband amazing. It's the times that I needed him there. And it's the times where he took accountability he fixed it. Example is I be fly on YouTube, but then as soon as I'm off, I want to put my hair in a bun and go in my pajamas. And he's like, babe, come on. And I have to look into myself and be like, damn, yeah, I want to be comfortable, but I put more effort to be on camera with you guys than I was doing during my quarantine. Sometimes it felt like it was a speedboat and both of us holding on to the rope of God. You know? And now it's like a cruise line. Just hold on to it. You picked him for a reason. She picked you for a reason. Hold on to it and work on it. And if you don't take anything from this advice, whoever you pray to, constant prayer, you'll be fine. I love you guys with all my heart. And I know it's difficult. Trust me, I know. And I know it's not perfect. But with God and with prayer, you're going to make it. And once you truly want it and you don't give up on it, you guys are going to make it. I can't wait to see how long y'all been married. Please comment. And please comment, something that you guys have learned being married for a long time. I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to be better. I love you guys. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment. Bye. Yeah, because you could have put them on the backboard, and then both of them would be cut off from the bottom on, but it would have been two people in the wheelchair happy. So that, yeah. But you get what I mean.